Hello everybody, welcome to the rectory where we're going to prepare this feast based on Babette's feast. It's, what is it, Coq Au
Vin?
Coq Au Vin. So here we go, we're just going to put it together. So.
But first we're going to start with Gougeres, which is a type of a popover. We're doing mini Gougeres. The recipe calls for either cheddar or Gruyere cheese, your choice. And then you can actually substitute any type of herb, but we're using thyme. We're using thyme and Gruyere cheese for our Gougeres. So this is the way that you make a Gougere. We have got 3/4 of a cup of water. It's going to go into the pot. 6 tablespoons of unsalted butter, chopped up into 1/2-inch cubes. Into the pot. And salt, about 1/2 teaspoon of salt. And I just measure in my hand. So you want to preheat your oven to 400 degrees, and then we're going to bring this mixture in the pot up to a boil. Melt the butter. Over medium heat. And this recipe that we're doing today is from the Herb Farm Cookbook, Chef Jerry Traunfeld. So you want to make sure you have a wire whisk ready. When your mixture of water and butter and salt come to a boil, we're going to add 3/4 of a cup of flour all at once, and then whisk it up. It's going to form a real thick dough.
Is the boil?
Yeah. Which is going to do in a sec. Okay, go ahead and add the flour all at once.
Just pour it in?
Just pour it in, yeah. So once it comes to a boil, you're going to add the flour all at once and then turn off the heat. And then go ahead and crack one of those eggs into the little bowl.
This one?
Yep. Then you got your 4 eggs. You want to crack an egg into a small bowl or a cup. And then you're going to slide it into the pot.
Here?
Yep. And keep stirring while you add 1 egg at a time.
Another egg?
Another egg. The mixture is going to become real thick and very satiny.
Now?
Yep. As soon as you get 1 egg incorporated, you can go ahead and add the next egg.
Oh,
Doesn't it? Is it all incorporated? Oh, it looks beautiful. Show Father what it looks like. Make sure you don't have any lumps in there, Father. Okay, so then we're going to add the thyme, 1.5 tablespoons of finely minced thyme, and add 1/2 cup of the cheese of your choice.
I keep stirring.
Keep stirring. Beautiful, doesn't it? Okay, beautiful, lovely. So nice satiny dough, very thick, beautifully satiny. And now we're ready to put it onto our prepared baking sheet. Just get a large baking sheet and put a piece of parchment in it. And then just get 2 flatware teaspoons. And you're just going to put drops of the dough onto the parchment, about a teaspoon in size. And then with the remaining cheese, you're gonna just sprinkle a little bit of cheese on top of each. You can put a little dollop on each. And at this point, once you have topped the batter with cheese, you can stick it in the refrigerator, or you can actually freeze them at this point. When you're ready to cook them, they're going to cook for 25 to 30 minutes at 400 degrees, and you want to serve them nice and warm. So I think we're going to stick ours in the refrigerator so that they're nice and warm when our guests come.
I don't know any more cheese, that's all right.
Okay, that's all right. All right, those are ready. Okay, now we're going to move on to the main event. Get this going because it takes a while. So, Father, you can, there's a pound of bacon in there.
That's
Yeah, is that 12 ounces or 16 ounces?
20.
Oh, it's 20.
So we-
Okay, we need 8 ounces, so just do half of it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
So half of it you're going to cut up, you're going to dice it.
thick do you want it?
Cut it into about 1/2-inch sections. So you have your 3 to 4 pounds of chicken pieces. You're gonna lay them out on a baking sheet, pat them dry, and then sprinkle them with salt and pepper. And Father's gonna do this. This is his fancy pepper mill.
Oh. What do we need to do?
You're gonna sprinkle that chicken with pepper. Remember to take the thing off. All right, so for the Coq Au Vin, we're going to start by heating up the 2 tablespoons of good olive oil in a nice heavy skillet. You're going to cook the bacon first. You're going to cook the bacon in oil. So go ahead and add the bacon.
How about this one?
Yeah. Okay, in the meantime, you can be preparing your vegetables. So the Coq Au Vin it's a peasant type of French stew. You can use any number of cuts of meat. Since it's Lent, we're using chicken. And all of the recipes that we're making today they're really kind of simple country French cooking since we are in Lent. So you're going to get your vegetables ready for your Coq Au Vin while the bacon is cooking. You want to get your half-pound of carrots and cut them diagonally into big chunks about 2 inches long. You're going to slice up your onion and then cut your mushrooms into big chunks. You want to do that?
Yeah, we can
Okay.
do that. How big are these?
Diagonally pieces about 2 inches long.
Like this, 2 inches?
Yes. Yes. Perfect. I'll get you a big one for that.
What next?
1 onion, a whole onion slice.
How do we do it again? Cut it.
Comes off and then cut it vertically once. And get rid of the brown skin.
And then
While you're cooking your bacon and prepping your vegetables, turn the oven on, 250 degrees Fahrenheit. Okay, and then the garlic.
finely chopped.
Yes.
And then
Okay, so the bacon, pretty crisp, can come out of the olive oil now. I'm going to just use a slotted spoon. Okay, so using the same pan with the bacon fat and the olive oil, you're going to take your chicken pieces that you've prepared by liberally sprinkling with salt and pepper, and they're going to go into the skillet to be browned. Put them in single layers, skin side down to start. And make sure there's a little bit of room between the pieces. Probably about 5 minutes on each side. Okay, so while the chicken's cooking, we've got all of our vegetables prepared. Father has skillfully chopped the carrots diagonally into 2-inch pieces, sliced our yellow onion, and chopped the garlic fine. So he is prepping the potatoes for the Gratin Dauphinois, which is a recipe of Julia Child's. It's potatoes gratin, which is essentially potatoes boiled in milk with butter. So your chicken pieces, when you're browning them, you just want to let them sit. Don't move them around until you're ready to actually flip them over. And they're nicely browned. Go ahead and flip it over once. I forgot to bring milk. We don't have milk, do we?
No. I'll go get some. These ends I'll just throw away, these ends.
Yeah.
Is that enough?
I think that's enough. Yeah, I think that's
You want me to go get milk?
Sure. I forgot to bring milk. So I'm continuing to brown our pieces of chicken in batches at a time so the chicken's not crowded in the skillet. I had to send Father to the store to get milk because I forgot to get the milk for the potatoes. So I'm just going to be browning the chicken here for a while until the chicken is all brown, and then we're going to move on to adding our vegetables for the Coq Au Vin.
that.
Do you have to say anything about the milk first, or can I go out and, let's see, what's the, where,
It's right to the left. I just cut off so way confused.
oh, there we go. Turn the fan on.
I did turn it on, yes. We're doing really well. It's only 3:45.
Huh?
Okay, it's only 3:45. We're doing great. This chicken is just about done being browned, so when that's done, the vegetables are going to go in. We're going to be deglaze. We're going to let you deglaze because it's spectacular, remember? After all the vegetables get cooked. So these are pitted already. I was going to show you a really cool trick for how to pit a
We
cherry.
don't have to do that.
But it involves a chopstick. Do you even have chopsticks?
Huh?
Do you even have any chopsticks
I
here?
don't know. There might be. No.
You put the cherry on the top of an empty bottle,
Oh,
and then you push
Oh.
the pit through
Okay.
with a chopstick.
there you go.
Yeah.
Right, it works, yeah.
Mess here, look at this mess. Okay, are you ready to saute your vegetables?
Yeah.
So why don't you stand right here where I am? I'll hand you your bowls. You can dump them in.
What do we need? Do we this spoon like this?
Yeah, you can use that one. Okay. So now the chicken is all done browning. We had to do 3 batches because we're feeding a lot of people here. So now go ahead and put the vegetables in. I'm going to start with carrots and the onions. Let those cook down a little bit and then we'll add the garlic. So into the same pot with the olive oil, all the bacon fat, any chicken fat that's rendered off. And we're just going to cook that until the onions are just a little translucent. Then we'll add the garlic. Don't add the garlic at the beginning because garlic cooks really fast and when it burns it tastes bitter. You can open this. All right, while Father's cooking the vegetables, I'm washing and I'll dry our salad for our Salade Lyonnaise. This is endive salad, but you can use any bitter, frilly, leafed salad. The recipe actually calls for frisée, but it's hard to find frisée. It's a lettuce that is ready later in the spring, early summer. So endive is nice. You can also use escarole or arugula are good substitutes for the salad as well. So I'm just going to wash and dry the lettuce and tear it into pieces. Alright, so just a few minutes on the garlic because you don't want it to burn or it will become bitter.
This pad is perfect for this.
Yes, it is. Okay, so about 10 minutes total on your vegetables. Now Father is going to deglaze the pan with a good brandy, or you can use a cognac, I believe.
So, what do we got? Just put it in.
You're going to put it in. Didn't sound quite as spectacular as it usually does. Okay, so now he's going to take that brandy and he's going to scrape the bottom of the pan, scrape off all the brown bits of chicken and bacon from the bottom of the pan, because we're going to incorporate all those flavors into the stew. Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, now it's time to add the wine. So your recipe will call for a half a bottle of a Burgundy wine. A Burgundy wine is from the Burgundy region of France. It's actually a Pinot Noir. So we have a nice French Pinot Noir from Albert Bichot here. I doubled the recipe, so we're putting the entire bottle in.
Wow.
Okay, so you're just going to heat the wine up, and then you're going to add your chicken pieces back in, and then they're going to go into the oven to braise for about 40 minutes. The timing is perfect. Cherries have to be cut in half.
Should I do that over?
Yeah, you can do that.
Does it matter how they're cut?
In half.
I mean, they don't have to be cut along the, just in half.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, just in half anyway. And the chicken broth, the bacon, the chicken pieces, and any juices that have gathered with them are all going to go back into the pot, and then it's going to go into the oven. We're going to split ours into 2 pots because we doubled the recipe and we don't want this to overflow. Okay, so the wine, the chicken stock, the bacon, chicken, and the fresh thyme sprigs are all going to go into your pot now. And then it's going to go into the oven for braising. Okay, then you want to cover your Dutch oven or your deep skillet, whatever it is that you've cooked in, with a tight-fitting lid, and it's going to go into the oven for 30 to 40 minutes. Inside the vegetables, chicken, everything is going in the oven now. Okay. 350 degrees for 40 minutes. Can you mash 2 cloves of garlic? Just turn the knife on the side, you know, peel the garlic and then turn the knife on its side and with the heel of your hand.
Like that?
Yeah.
Do we want to serve wine for when the guests come?
Yes, we do. You know what? 2 of them should go in the refrigerator.
Well,
There
I
was
took
one
one
white
out
and
already.
there was
This one.
one rosé.
This one.
Yeah. Gratin Dauphinois, which is potatoes gratin, Julia Child's recipe. So the recipe calls for a flame-proof dish, at least 2 inches deep. So I have this nice copper pan that when you're going to heat the milk up in, add the garlic and salt and pepper, and you're just going to bring that to a boil. Your potatoes should be sliced already. With his peppermint. You need your peppermint.
What?
You're going to grind some pepper into the milk for the potatoes.
How much?
Take a bottle.
Yeah.
And turn a little so Carly can see it.
How much?
About a quarter. That's good. When the milk comes to a boil, you're just going to add the potatoes in layers into the pan. So we're just going to layer the potatoes in the boiling milk and then dot them with the butter. once you get one layer down, go ahead and dot it with butter and then put another layer on top. Again, I doubled the recipe because we're feeding a crowd over here today, so the recipe calls for 3 to 4 tablespoons of butter, but I'm using the whole stick of butter. Definitely do not cut these 1/8 of an inch thick. Father, do you want to put those little cornichons, the little tiny pickles that I brought?
Yeah.
Just put those in a little dish, like maybe this dish over here, and you can set it in the middle of the cheese platter.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Let me get it. Yeah. Okay.
so that's all there is to the Gratin Dauphinois. Boil the milk, add the garlic, salt, and pepper. Layer the potatoes and dot them with butter, and then it's going to go into the oven for 25 minutes at 425 degrees.
Are all of these for the cheese platters, or like there's this one?
Oh, that one I got.
These?
Yeah, those four. Sure. And can you get those little Gougeres out of the refrigerator? I think we're going to go ahead and stick them in the oven. Would you like to start on the salad dressing?
Yeah.
Or salade lyonnaise?
Okay.
Okay, so for the salad dressing, we've got the olive oil in our skillet, and those French, again, they're gonna cook bacon in olive oil. So I actually got pancetta, but you can use pancetta or bacon. And we're just gonna cook the bacon or pancetta in a skillet in the olive oil.
All of it.
Yep, all of it.
Good sound. I don't know, people probably complain about that to the health department.
I know.
Yeah, you know.
Uh-huh.
I should feed him. That way we'll. Come on, Sam. Come on.
Ooh, it will go. So these are all the ingredients for the salad dressing. Olive oil, the bacon or pancetta, thinly sliced shallot or red onion. You want some sherry vinegar and some Dijon mustard. So we're just going to cook the bacon or the pancetta until it's brown. And then add the shallots. Cook those for a few minutes in the olive oil until they are slightly softened. And then we're going to add the sherry vinegar and the Dijon mustard and just stir it up until everything is incorporated. Then just take it off the heat, and that's your salad dressing, all ready to go. I'm also heating up some water in a great big skillet for the salad. So this is for poaching eggs. The salad is served with a poached egg on top of it. So I'm just getting the water boiling, and then we'll, when it's time to serve, right before we serve, we'll crack an egg into the water. We'll turn it down to a simmer, crack an egg into the water, and poach it for a few minutes. We'll plate up the salads. We will, the salad, my greens are all torn and washed and dried and torn. So when the dressing is done, we're gonna toss the dressing on top of the greens and toss it up. Then we'll plate the greens and then put a poached egg on the top, and that's how you serve the salad. The shallots are softened in the olive oil. Then it's time for you to add your sherry vinegar. And add your Dijon. And then just stir to incorporate all those ingredients together. Once that's incorporated, you can turn the heat off. Okay, now I think I'm going to mix up the clafouti, because that's going to bake while we're eating.
The what?
The clafouti, that's our dessert.
Dessert.
Yes. So I don't know if Carl Eric wants to film this part. It's kind of like making a crepe. All right. Okay, so I'm going to mix the ingredients for the buttermilk and cherry clafouti, which is our dessert. It's very similar to a crepe, so it's kind of eggy. I don't know if you've ever had a Dutch baby before, but it's like a thick Dutch baby. So I have 5 eggs and 2 egg yolks in my blender, and I'm going to add a half a cup of mascarpone cheese. I don't know if you've ever cooked with mascarpone cheese before, but it's an Italian soft cheese. It's kind of similar to cream cheese, and you can find it in the cheese section. So half a cup of mascarpone. We're going to add our 1/3 cup of sugar, 1 cup of buttermilk, 2 tablespoons of creme de cassis, which is black currant liqueur. Mother only has 1 tablespoon measure, and I just used it for the Dijon, so I'm using a teaspoon, so it's going to look like I'm putting in more than 2 tablespoons, but don't worry, it'll be right. Oh, there goes my timer. There goes my timer. I'm just going to check the Gougeres. Oh! They're so so beautiful. Okay, so I'm going to take this off. We're going to keep these warm for our guests. Okay, now back to our clafouti. Half a teaspoon of almond extract. A quarter of a teaspoon of salt. And 3/4 of a cup of flour. So you're just going to put all that in the blender. It's going to be real easy to mix up because we're just going to blend it just like you do for a crepe. So, I think we're going to blend it. Down the sides a little bit if there's flour stuck on the side. Get a rubber spatula and scrape down the sides of the blender to make sure that all the flour gets incorporated and the cheese. And then you're just going to pour the batter into your prepared pan. So you can use a 9 by 13 inch pan, or you can use two 8-inch round pans. And to prepare it, all you're going to do is just spread the softened butter on the bottom and the sides of the pan. And then we're just going to split the batter. I'm going to split the batter between these two. And then to finish it off, you're going to top it with the cherries. I used frozen cherries. Father prepared these for us. They were already pitted, but if you don't have cherries that are pitted, there's a really great trick for pitting a cherry. You can use an empty bottle, like if you have an empty wine bottle, and set the cherry on top of it and use a toothpick, a chopstick, and push the end of the chopstick through the center of the cherry, and that'll push the pit down into the bottle. So that's a really cool way to pit a cherry if you need to. Okay, then you've got your cherries, and you're just going to put the cherries cut side up on the top of your batter in the pan. And then it's going to go into the oven and bake at 425 degrees for 25 to 30 minutes. So I'm going to put these in when we start our meal, so they'll be nice and warm when we're done eating. And then to serve it, you're just going to dust it with powdered sugar, and you can serve it with whipped cream. So this is our dessert of buttermilk and cherry clafouti. Okay. Okay, so to finish off the Coq Au Vin, you're going to take the 2 tablespoons of butter at room temperature, mix it together with a tablespoon and a half of flour, and that's just going to thicken the stew a little bit. You're going to add in your mushrooms and the pearl onions and just heat it through on the stovetop, and then your Coq Au Vin is all ready to serve. Okay, so flour butter mix you're going to incorporate into the Coq Au Vin stew. You're going to add the pearl onions. And the flour butter mixture is gonna dissolve, and you're gonna want to stir it around to incorporate it into the stew. And add your mushrooms. And then once the butter and flour are incorporated into the liquid, that is all ready to serve. All right, you can take this and split it between the 2 bowls and then toss them. And I'm going to start poaching the eggs. Ready to plate the salad. Father's taken the dressing and he's dressed our greens and he's tossing that. And now I'm preparing the poached eggs. So the water, I brought it up to a boil, then I turned it down to a simmer, and then we're just going to add, break the eggs into the simmering water and poach them. We'll plate the greens onto a salad plate and then top them with a poached egg, and that is Salade Lyonnaise.
Perfect, we did all of it.
Oh, perfect. Okay, those eggs are going to be ready in just a couple minutes. salads. These need just a minute, they just need to film over the top of one of them's done. Beautiful. That's all right. It's supposed to do that.
Should I invite everybody to the table?
Yeah.